I never imagined the sky would witness both my deepest betrayal and my greatest triumph. My name is Alina, and for as long as I can remember, my older sister Anna was the star of our family. She had the perfect life, the perfect job, the perfect voice that everyone listened to. I was always the quiet one, the safe one who chose a steady desk job after college. Or at least that's what everyone believed. We were on a family vacation flight from New York to Rome, 300 passengers, all of us excited, laughing, dreaming about Italian sunsets. Anna sat beside me in business class, sipping champagne like she owned the plane. Then she turned to me with that familiar smile that always came before the sting. "You know, Alina," she said, loud enough for the entire row to hear, "it's actually cute how you still pretend your little office job matters, while the rest of us are out here living real lives." She laughed, and a few passengers chuckled along. My cheeks burned. I felt every eye on me, every whisper. My own sister, the person who was supposed to protect me, had just torn me open in front of strangers. I wanted to disappear. My hands trembled in my lap. I had spent years hiding the truth because I knew exactly how she would twist it. No one in our family knew I had served as a fighter pilot for 8 years. Top of my class, combat missions, night landings on aircraft carriers. I left the military quietly after a classified injury, promising myself I'd never use those skills again unless lives truly depended on it. But what I didn't know that day was that those skills were about to become the only thing standing between 300 souls and disaster. The flight was smooth for the first 3 hours. Anna kept going, little jabs about my boring clothes, my safe choices, how I'd never amount to anything exciting. Each word chipped away at the last pieces of my heart. I stayed silent, staring out the window, feeling smaller with every mile we climbed. Then the captain's voice crackled over the speakers, calm at first. "Folks, we're experiencing a minor technical issue. Please remain seated." Within minutes, the plane began to shake violently. Oxygen masks dropped. Screams filled the cabin. The flight attendants rushed forward, faces pale. The co-pilot stumbled out of the cockpit, white as a sheet. "The captain just had a heart attack," he whispered to the crew. I can't land this thing alone. We're losing altitude fast." Panic exploded. People cried, prayed, called out names. And right beside me, Anna grabbed my arm, her perfect composure shattered. "Elena, do something. You're always so useless in real situations. Tell me you're not just going to sit there." Her voice cracked with fear, but the words still cut like knives. Even now, in the middle of terror, she chose to humiliate me. That was the moment something inside me shifted. The broken, mocked little sister disappeared. The pilot I had buried for years rose up. I stood slowly, heart pounding, and walked toward the cockpit with a calm I didn't know I still possessed. The co-pilot looked at me like I was crazy. "Ma'am, you need to sit." "I'm a former fighter pilot," I said quietly, my voice steady for the first time all day. 8 years active duty. I can help." His eyes widened. He didn't argue. He pulled me into the cockpit where the captain lay unconscious. The instruments screamed warnings, altitude dropping, engines struggling, 300 lives, children, parents, dreams, hanging by a thread. I slid into the seat, hands moving on autopilot, muscle memory taking over. My sister's mocking words echoed in my head, but they didn't break me anymore. They fueled me. Every insult she had thrown at me for years became the fire I used to stay focused. I talked the co-pilot through emergency procedures only combat pilots know. I rerouted power, stabilized the descent, and guided us toward the nearest airport in Spain. For 40 terrifying minutes, I fought the plane like I once fought in the skies over conflict zones. Sweat soaked my back. My hands never shook. and through the open cockpit door, I could hear Anna sobbing, whispering to passengers, That's my sister. I didn't know." The wheels touched the runway with a perfect, feather-soft landing. The moment we stopped, cheers erupted through the entire plane. Passengers cried tears of relief. Flight attendants hugged me. The co-pilot shook my hand like I was a hero. And then I saw her, Anna, standing at the cockpit door. Mascara streaked down her face, looking at me like she was seeing me for the first time in her life. The sister who had spent years tearing me down now stood completely exposed. Every cruel joke, every public humiliation, every time she made me feel small, it all hung in the air between us. She stepped forward, voice trembling. "Elena, I'm so sorry. I never knew. I thought I was better." I was wrong. Her words broke. For the first time, my sister wasn't performing. She was just human, shattered by her own betrayal. I looked at her, my heart still bruised but no longer bleeding. I didn't yell, I didn't gloat. I simply said, "I never wanted to prove you wrong, Anna. I just wanted you to see me." The news crews met us on the tarmac. "Mystery passenger saves 300 lives," the headlines screamed. My face was everywhere. My family back home finally learned the truth I had carried alone for years. And Anna, she had to face every relative, every friend, every passenger who now knew exactly how she had treated her own sister right before I saved them all. That night, in a quiet hotel room, Anna sat across from me. No champagne, no audience, just two sisters. She cried real tears and asked for forgiveness. I gave it, not because she deserved it, but because carrying hate would have weighed me down more than her words ever did. I learned something powerful that day. The greatest revenge isn't screaming back or tearing someone apart. It's becoming the version of yourself they never believed you could be, and letting the truth do the rest. Sometimes the person who breaks your heart is the same one who forces you to find your wings. And when you finally soar, the sky doesn't just save lives, it sets you free. I'm Alina. I was mocked, I was betrayed, and I rose anyway. And I hope my story reminds you, never let anyone convince you that your wings don't exist, because one day they might be the very thing that saves everyone around you, including the person who tried to clip them. Thank you for listening. If this story touched you, remember, your quiet strength is your superpower. Never hide it.